Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So I've got myself a new tin of watercolours. These are Mungo, I think that's how we say it, watercolours that I got from Riot. So if you want to hear a little bit about them and see some swatches, then just keep watching. Alright, so I've been looking for a slightly bigger watercolour palette for a little while. This is the one that I have been using. I got it off Trish from Hobby Hoppers at Picture to Page and I love it. I love playing with all these colours. But I do find sometimes the colours are a little bit limiting, which is why you can see they're all mucked up. So I wanted to get a bigger palette. I really wanted some metallics. So I looked at getting just a metallic palette, or I looked at doing this. I ended up getting this one from Riot. It's $159, $159.99, but they had 50% off this past weekend. So it was $80. Yes, that's a lot of money to spend on paint. Am I enjoying using them? Yes, I am. Am I looking to use them a bit more? So yes, I am. So in that respect, I think it's okay. I think that works out to about, there's a 48 pans in here at $80, so that's like $1.30 something a pan. I'm really bad at maths, that's just off the top of my head. But there are 48 different colours in here, including some metallics and some glimmers. So what I thought I'd do is do a bit of a walkthrough of all of the colours, do a little swatch, so you guys can see all of them and just sort of see how they perform. So to make it really fair, I'm using one of these. These are one of my Aldi paintbrushes that I bought earlier in the year, and I'm going to use Canson watercolour paper for all of the swatches so that it's as fair as it possibly can be. So I've also just got a little glass of water and some paper towel just to kind of wipe off a little bit of the excess water. I'm really not very good at watercolouring yet, so please excuse me if I do anything wrong. I don't quite know what I'm doing, I just play around and see what I get. So we'll start off with all the yellows and the pinks and we'll move up to the metallics and everything last. So this first one, this is called 802. This is called Lemon Yellow. I'm just making sure, like, nice and kind of coloured. Ooh, that gives you a nice little, that's very vivid. And that's the biggest thing for me, is that these watercolours need to be really bright, otherwise I just use my Tombos. But these, so far, like all the ones that I've used in the Uniquely Creative one, have been really nice, and I get that really vivid colour I'm looking for. So this next one here, this is 804, this is just called Yellow. And I won't worry about putting water down on the page anymore, I'll just do that, just sort of run it down like that. And I'm just cleaning the brush in between, just dripping it on the paper towel until it's clean. So the next one here is called 805. This is yellow orange. Wow, the colour is just really pretty in these. I like that yellow. It's very nice. And the next one is 806 orange. You can definitely see these getting some use. Hooray. Ryan was a little worried that I'd get them and not like them, which is always a risk, I guess, when you're buying any kind of paint or art supplies, but so far so good. The metallics and the dark ones are the ones that I'm really looking forward to, if I'm being deadly honest. So the next one is 807. This is Vermilion. I never understand what Vermilion is. Sometimes it's a red, sometimes it's an orange. This one's a definite orange. Can you just imagine how pretty like a sunset picture would be with all these colours? Like a sunset watercolour. So nice. This one's 809. This is called Scarlet. Oh, just, it's a really good pigmentation. This one's 810 Permanent Red. I don't know what about it makes it permanent, but that's what it's called. Dog hair. Oh wow, check out that red. Wow, that looks like a really nice red lipstick shade. This one is actually one I'm really looking forward to having a look at. This is called Permanent Rose. I have had like some looks at swatches online. Like I never buy anything without doing a little bit of research first. Wow, look at that. Oh yeah. And the swatches I saw online looked really good. I'll link the video that I had a look at first. But you're always a little worried that when you get at home it won't quite be the same. Thank you, Ryan. He's just going to get me some more paper towel. Whoops. And then I went and mixed my colours up there. So this one's called Rose Madder. I think that's what it's called. Cold pink. Crimson Lake. Yeah, Rose Madder. This is like a burgundy. Oh. Oh yeah. That's just really pretty. And you can make them, like obviously you can mix any of these colours together. So you can always make it a little bit darker by adding a little bit of black, or make it a little bit more pastel by adding some white. That's the fun of it. So next one is called Crimson Lake. And this looks even more burgundy. It's almost yeah. Oh, no, not burgundy, purple. Wow. That's beautiful. Another purple here. This one's called Cold Pink. Okay, so it's going to be pink, not purple, but it's alright. Ooh. That's really pretty. Is it bad that I'm really just loving the little dots? Some of my favourite techniques using watercolours is just using them to make dots. And this is the last one on the last row. This is called Opera. And that's very pink. That's really the only... Like those three are the only sort of pinky, purpley shades. Oh, some more purple, sorry, at the darker end. So that's the first row. Those are beautifully pigmented. I've put too much water on there, but that's alright. How good does that look? I love looking at my tissues and paper towels once I finish watercolouring. Right, so this next line is all greens and browns, so my sort of natural colours. So this first one's called Greenish Yellow. They do all have numbers attached. I'm obviously just telling you guys the names because I like them better. But I will list all of the numbers and names down below for you. Oh, so nice. Oops. More water. So this next one is Olive Green. Tell you one thing, Trish from Hobby Hoppers will love this when she gets her hands on it at Planet Day. Trish, if you're watching, I'll remember to bring it, I promise. This one's Olive Brown, so we're going to move a little away from the greens for a sec. That would actually make it, if you haven't seen it, go and check out Trish's Instagram for Hobby Hoppers, because she's been making some really cute mushroom cards. She actually inspired me a lot to have a bit of a play with my watercolours and making different things. Her mushrooms are gorgeous, but these kind of colours would look really good in them, Trish. They're really pretty. These greens are cool. So that one there is called Green Grey. Sorry, I skipped that one. This is Malachite Green. I think that's how you pronounce the word. Oh. That's such a big jump from those two colours, like just from what you get. It's really cool. This next one's called Deep Phthalo Green. I think that's how you say it. Oh, that's pretty. And obviously these all wash down a little. Like if you need a slightly lighter form of the green, I'm just going to do a bit down the bottom here. Like the longer you go, the slightly lighter it can get as the brush gets drier. I love those sort of end of watercolour effects that you can get. This is called Van Dyke Brown, so we're moving into those brown colours now. Oh, that's pretty. I'm one of those weird people that like browns. And this is Burnt Umber. Try not to get my jacket in the... That's like your typical tree brown. Got Brown Red. And then light red. This is what I sort of expect to be like a saddle kind of colour. Yeah. And then you've got raw sienna. So almost an orange, but just that little bit of brown. And then burnt sienna at the end. Almost peach. With just a little bit of white, that would be a really pretty peach. Alright, so then moving on to the next one up. So then we're going to move into some more blues. This is the line that I'm very excited. Oh no, the next one up's the one I'm really, really excited about. So this first one's called Permanent Light Blue. Okay, so that one, the first thing I can think about that's not quite as pigmented as all of the others. It just doesn't go down as nice. It's a little bit more patchy. That's okay though, you can't have all of them be really good. And this one's called Yellow Green. Yeah, that's a bit better. It's just something about the way the thickness goes down to start off with. That's sort of where you get where I feel like you get the patchiness or not from. So this is Sap Green. Yeah, it's a bit more watery. Not watery, but doesn't feel as nice. And we've got, oh, this is a long one. Cadmium Green Light. Oh, that's nice. I'm trying to keep the same amount of water each time so that I'm being fair. This one's called Hooker's Green, which I'm not quite sure what kind of hooker we're referring to when we say that, but I'm going to go with an ocean hooker. Which is really nice. That's really bright and vibrant. Oops, forgot what row I was on for a sec there. This one's called Viridian. Oh, that's pretty. And they really are. Each colour is different. You know how sometimes you get a palette or especially makeup palettes or pens on textures, and you look at them and you go, those colours are like, those greens are all really the same. These aren't. These are all different. All completely different hues along the way. This is Cerulean Blue. I think that's how you say it. That's really nice. Just goes down on the page really nice, that one. This one's called Prussian Blue. See, that one is the first one I reckon you could just add a bit of black to Cerulean Blue and end up with Prussian. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. We've got Cobalt Blue. That's different. And we've got Ultramarine Blue. See, that's another nice one that would be really cool with just a little bit of white. That'd give you a really nice pastel finish. We've got Purple, which is just called Purple. No fanciness to the purple. That's really nice. It's a very nice, like, kind of royal purple kind of hue. And we've got Permanent Violet on the end. Oh. That's lovely. Really like that one. Okay, so here's the row that I'm really excited about. I'm going to start off with the metallics. So the first one is Copper. And what I'm looking for here, I really want to see some metallic kind of flecks or finishes, or I just don't want it to look brown, which unfortunately it does. Like, to me, that doesn't look metallic. That just looks peach. I hope the silver and the gold are a bit better. Okay, so this is the gold. That's a bit better, but it still doesn't look. And maybe it's not dry yet, so I will reserve judgment on those ones till they're dry. But that one at least looks a little bit less like it's just a yellow. And then we've got Silver. Now this one I'm a little worried about because it's probably there's a couple that just look really dry. And I'm a little worried about it. Yeah, there we go. See how that's really... So that's basically the colour of the water at the moment because it's gone all brown. So I'm trying to get some water to kind of turn that into a... I'm not trying to loosen up the top. That's a bit better. Alright, so again, I've been watching people do things like this on videos, so I'm just gonna get this one out. Just with a bit of paper towel, I'm just gonna give it a bit of a rub to kind of break through that surface because it was just a little bit tainted's not the right word, but just looked a little bit not quite. There we go. Now I'm starting to get some pigment up. It just looked a bit dry. That's better. And that actually looks metallic. That's the first one that looks to me like it's got any kind of metal to it. That's nice. So he's got to work through it, and there's another one coming up in a second that's got the same sort of problem that I think we'll find, so it's alright. These could have been sitting on the shop shelf for a really long time as well, so that's something else to keep in perspective, I guess. But you can always just work with them a little bit. Alright, so the next one is called Pearl White. This is another one I'm a little worried about because it's a little dry. Sometimes you just need to really saturate them. So obviously that one's going to be harder to see because you obviously got this one. I'm just going to grab a little bit of clean water in my water bottle, which just happens to be sitting on my desk. Because I just want to give this light colour a bit more of a go with clean water. Definitely get pigment up. Like sometimes you worry with white that you're not actually picking anything up. Like you're definitely getting pigment up on your brush with this one. Oh, it's nice. It is. It's exactly what it says. It's pearl. It's just a slight off-white. It's just really nice. I don't think there's a finish to it. I think it's just like there's no... Oh, okay, there we go. So you can see... I'll do zooms afterwards, but you can see the metallic look coming up on the silver. I still can't see it on the gold or on the copper. So this next one is just called White. Another one where I'm just going to give it a little bit because it is a little dry. There's two more of the ones that look a little dry. Okay, so this is the white. I don't expect to be able to see that, but that's the kind of the point, I guess, with white. You don't want to... On white paper, you shouldn't see it. That's the mark of how white it is, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But that looks really nice. I'm just going to pick up just a tinsy bit of this green colour. Wow, they dry off really quick. That's good too. Oh, God, I love playing with watercolours. So I'm just playing just to sort of see how the white tones it down. Normally I do this on like an acrylic block to try and do the colour differences. That's really nice. It just tones it down just a little bit, which is really cool. Alright, so I just went and got a new glass of water. Ryan didn't like me using the water bottle thing. Whenever I use white, if I do happen to get some extra colour on it, I just like to wipe it off if I remember. Okay, where were we? So this next one's called Juan Brilliant, and I don't quite understand what this colour is supposed to be. So we'll soon find out. I don't know if it's supposed to be metallic or if it's just supposed to be just this light kind of peach colour. It is very pretty. We'll wait and see what it looks like once it's dry. Okay, so this next one is called Naples Yellow. This is another one that's very, very dry in the pan. Just running out of room a little bit. So That's your very sandy, that reminds me so much of like a white sandy beach kind of. If you're going to paint that, that would be the colour I'd use. So this is yellow ochre. Oh, that's nice. Looks very similar to the gold though, which is slightly worrying me. We've got raw umber. This is another sort of mildly dry one in the pan. The next two are, and then the last two look okay. They all do have a little wax finish on the top, so sometimes you just have to add some water to get through that. This one's French grey. This is very, very waxy in the pan. Feels like it needs tons of water just to get it to activate. Oh wow. That finish is good though. Looks like my entire paint colour for the house. And this next one is probably the one I'm most excited about. When I saw the swatch of this on the video, that was when I went, yeah, I'm having that. This is indigo. Such a very typical colour for me, but oh yeah. How pretty would that be for like a night sky? With maybe a bit of like this purple and a little bit of green. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. And then the last one is black. So that was something that I felt like my Uniquely Creative one was kind of missing, was like a really nice black. It had the white, but it didn't have a black. It was like a brownie black. That's beautiful. So rich. Which you don't expect to get out of a watercolour. You sort of think they're going to be really toned down. But the vibrancy in this kit is amazing. So that is all 48 colours. They do come in this little tin, big tin, which can be used as a palette as well. You can put all of your colours on here and use it as a palette. You can close it up and use it as a palette. And it's got a little ring on the back, so if you want to sort of stand up and do it, you can. Just realised I did that. Now I'm going to have messes everywhere. That's alright, I can clean it up. I clean it up afterwards. But they do dry really quick, which is good. The worst thing I find is if you've got little pools in your watercolour palette for ages and ages and ages. Things I noticed when I was unwrapping these, they are actually reasonably easy to unwrap. They're just sort of done in plastic and then paper around the outside. I'll put up a picture in a sec of what they look like sort of when you get them out of the box. But they do seem to sort of work nicely straight out. Like I haven't had to do too much to activate them or get them to work, which I don't think you do in any kind of watercolours, but then I'm not really professional in them yet. Not that I'm ever going to be, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of playing along. Now, while I've been going, things I've noticed, that silver, the silver and the pearl white have got a really nice iridescence to them. Like they do look like there's some metal in there. The gold has as well. I can see it now. You've got to look a little closer, but it is there. The copper is a little bit more disappointing, which is annoying because I was really looking forward to that colour. It'd be nice to mix the gold in with some of these ones, and that might be able to give you a different kind of finish. But I'm really happy overall with this. I think it'll be an interesting thing to play with along the way. If you guys want to see more watercolour videos, let me know. I am still teaching myself how to use them, so please don't expect anything fabulous. But if I do happen to make something cool, I will make sure I show you. I think looking at this, like the blue's a colour that I'm obviously really drawn to, but there's something about this one here. Just the way it sits on the page, it's beautiful. So bright. Oh, I love that. But like I said, if you want to see videos using watercolours, let me know down below, or you can find me on any of my social medias. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you're subscribed to me here on YouTube and following me on all of my socials. They're all down below for you, as well as some information on where you can get this palette. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and I will see you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!